Dear traders, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to the last episodes of the MCA Trading Made Simple series. Today we're going to talk about the important topic of broker manipulation. And please understand that the market causality evolves around the actual price finding mechanisms about the smart money algorithms. The broker manipulation comes on top of that, okay? Some people, they misunderstand or get confused when I talk about the market manipulation, thinking that the brokers are doing all that. No. So all the broker manipulation comes on top of the actual market manipulation as shown. By the way, many things shown here also apply to prop firms these days. Maybe one time I will make a separate video about it. But here's an overview of how brokers tend to manipulate things against their clients, believe it or not. Okay, spread manipulation. That's the first one. What are we talking about? We talk about the fact that suddenly the spread widens even though the actual market wasn't there. Let's say you have your stop loss here, and then let's say we come to 11 o'clock, the London fixing, and it's normal that spreads widen, but some really bad brokers, if you have your stop here, they're going to widen the spread even more in order to take out your stop, okay? Some really bad brokers, even away from the fixing during the day, they will sometimes move the spread, the bid and ask up and down in order to take clients out. Okay? It's a very unfair, nasty and possibly illegal practice by brokers. Slippage manipulation. Okay, if you click the button, you don't get the price which you saw on your screen, you actually get a price worse than that. And in theory, you know, sometimes it should also go in your favor, but it's proven that over 80% of brokers move the slippage against clients overall. Okay, so every time they take a little cut and you're gonna bleed that kind of cut. Requotes, okay, you're trying to trade, and these are also some really bad brokers doing that. You're trying to trade and suddenly it doesn't execute the trade and says requotes. It has become less common these days because there's also competition between the brokers, so people expect trades to get filled, but it still exists. Outright price manipulation, I've made a video about it before documenting it. It does exist, okay. The price was here, but the price of the broker suddenly does a spike. Professional brokers don't do it, but some bucket shop unregulated brokers still are caught doing that. And then in the worst case, if you deal with some really bad unregulated broker, you may even have account manipulation, trades may be missing, profits may be missing, or they account incorrectly for swaps and commissions on purpose. Okay, all these things exist. Now, in the case of a desk-based broker, who, they are basically trading against the clients, so they gonna put clients on an A book, B book or C book. That's also really bad practice, like to actually move the clients who are doing well on the book which is worse, so they get worse execution on the trades and all of that. Okay, if you want my recommendation, always use a regulated broker. Otherwise there is no watchdog. With a regulated broker, at least you can handle complaints and they need to deal with that if something goes wrong. Now, of course, sometimes things go wrong. It's not all with bad intent neither. Understand that as well. Sometimes mistakes happen, errors are there and all that stuff. However, unfortunately, if you look at the majority of brokers out there, you need to take into account that one way or another they will move things against you, okay? And as I said, spreads, slippage, that's these days the most common types of broker manipulations. Okay. Some of these things may be in a legal gray zone, but that doesn't help. So it's really important that you do not use like dodgy brokers or dodgy prop firms who are doing all these things against you. As you know, I've made this long video about the prop firm which has been caught doing all these things and moving successful traders to a worse trading book. Watch it if you haven't done so. But what does it imply? It implies that any strategy you implement has to be tested on different broker data feeds. Okay, it can't just be working on one data set from one broker but then fail on the other. So there needs to be some robustness in your strategy, and you need to take into account all these things in your actual trading. Okay, they will eat away from your profits, and as long as things are, let's say, staying within the reasonable range, it's not a massive issue. However, as soon as you realize that something bad is going on and that in the worst case some things on your account don't add up, I advise you to change your broker and to stay away from any brokers who do not have strong principles. Okay? Now, by now I would have thought that somebody would have implemented a proper broker comparison tool. I haven't seen anything so far yet. So, okay, then I will do that myself in the future. I will maybe create a tool and test the price feed of different brokers and their execution, and then make a ranking, okay? Because no one else has done it yet, so I will add this to my long-term to-do list, okay? That would be interesting as well. And for that, basically, I will measure all these different aspects with the data of the different brokers. I can tell you already from experience, I've used many brokers over the years. Some are horrible, okay? Some brokers are just horrible, to the point where they may destroy your strategy. Like I remember one really bad one, I think based in Cyprus. I mean, they were literally like having spreads of 30 pips in euro dollar during the fixing, and then would add another 20 pips here and there. I mean, it was ridiculous. So basically you had to close all your trades before 11 o'clock, which is a ridiculous limitation, because they would just try anything to kick you out. So those kind of brokers, they will not do you well, okay? Stay away if you see these kind of things. It's unfair stuff, and it's surprising that not more is done against that, okay? Traders, they rarely team up and do something in their own interest. But anyways, so understand that all the market manipulation shown is in the market itself, okay? That's the reason why euro dollar goes up or down 30 pips. This type of manipulation here also comes on top of that, okay? And make sure that whatever broker you're using is at least conducting its business in a reasonable way. If there are problems, contact them. And as I said before, do not always assume the worst. Sometimes things go wrong. Up to the point where you can even exploit broker mispricings. I've made a video about this on this channel where live I captured the moment where the broker I used was mispricing, and you could actually trade that hundreds of times knowing that the price will jump 40 pips in a second. Now it's very rare that you find these things these days, but and then it's even more rare that you're allowed to keep the profits. But yeah, please watch that stuff. It's still interesting. It gives you insights into how this market actually works. Okay, so I want to keep this rather short, because at the end of the day there's not a lot to say other than do not trade with unregulated brokers. Watch their execution and price quality. Always have other brokers on your screens as well, so that you can compare. And as soon as you see something wrong, then contact them. And also account for these phenomena here still existing. And the same goes for prop firms, okay? Some really bad prop firms will completely take advantage of their clients. Thankfully, some lawsuits have been filed and cases are going through in order to improve things overall. And some prop firms also have gone out of business, which is great, because we don't want any firms who engage in unfair or even illegal practices against their clients, okay? It's like a casino where the house always wins no matter what, and that's not okay. A big part of my work here has been to make things more fair, to make markets fair again, and to give you a better chance in trading despite all this dodgy stuff going on. So be aware of these things here as well. You need the right setup if you take your trading seriously. Okay, that's it for now. All the best. Take care.